The long game. Autoresponder marketing. The longer your autoresponder sequence is, the more money you will make. Hands down, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We all know this, and yet most marketers quit after setting up a 1 to 2 week sequence. Specifically with these campaigns, the giveaways and the beta tests, most marketers quit on the giveaways immediately after that first product offering, or on the beta test, they quit immediately after they launch the product. And that's terrible. You're building an asset here, as we talked about in the last section. You need to leverage this, but the best way to leverage it is through autoresponder marketing. You learned in the last section how to simplify your lists down so you can dial in your autoresponder marketing to only 2 main lists, okay? So your goals for each of these lists should be 30-day sequences at a minimum, okay? For each of the different giveaway campaigns, there's a reason that in the autoresponder section of those modules 2, 3, and 4, I gave you 30 to 40-day campaign mapping plans for each one of those different types of list building methods, because it's important that you list build and you have marketing going beyond the 30-day mark. So once it's at 30 days, that's great. Then you want to try to increase it by 3 to 4 emails each week, or at the very least, increase it by at least 1 email to stay ahead of the person who's been on your list the longest. So nobody ever gets to the end of your sequence. It always keeps growing ahead of them, okay? Ideally for your business, you want a 6 to 12 month promotional sequence. I know that may sound crazy, but if you do it, you'll make more money. And how much happier will you be with more money in your pocket rather than less? Every day you go by without having an autoresponder sequence set up, you're leaving money on the table, and that's money that you probably won't recoup from that customer, because again, all of your customers have a life cycle, and the idea is to prolong that life cycle with constant marketing and nurturing. But if you don't have a sequence in place to do that, there's no way for you to do that, or no way for you to nurture or prolong the life cycle of your customer or get them to purchase as frequently as they could. Our longest sequence in our business is currently 16 months long, and it's getting longer every single week. We get sales daily at every single point of it, even on day 374 and beyond. So even months and months, over a year later, people are still clicking and buying. Not everybody, obviously there's a life cycle here, but as long as those people are still on this list, I want to keep pushing offers to them. And don't think you have to have completely fresh offers all the time. You can totally recycle your promotions, fairly frequently. Not every month, but you can cycle them, over a 12-month period. You could recycle promotions 2 to 3 times and just change up the emails a little bit, but the same offer is getting promoted. So you never know when someone's going to buy that product, or buy it again, or buy it for a friend. So, or tell a friend to get on the list. Okay, so either way, you need to have you definitely want to recycle your promotions, and you also want to mix in as many different variety promotions as you can. We'll talk about that again in the next section. So past the 30-day mark, we space out our value emails every 2 days, but a 3-day promo sequence still is sent 1 day apart. So if you're going to promote a product, you promote a product every single day for 3 days straight. But beyond the 30-day sequence, we found that's like the hottest time to really milk out the most sales. Beyond that time, we space it out a little bit. So setting up your sequence is just the start, though. This is something that other people don't get. They may throw a sequence together and hey, I've got a 75-day sequence. Great. Have you looked at it since you set it up? Well, no. Because most email sequences are not winners right out of the gate. You need to track your open rates, your clicks, your sales, and your conversions on a per email basis. Then, based on that data, you start tweaking and improving your sequence. They're not all winners right out of the gate. Not all emails are going to perform the same. You may have a promotion on day 30 that if you had swapped to day 15, it would perform 2 times better. You don't know these things unless you test and tweak. So you should also test moving promotions around to see where they make you the most money. To do this right, you need tracking software like Improvely, AdTrax Gold, or CPV Labs. We talked about tracking in the traffic generation section. It's very, very important for your autoresponder marketing as well, because autoresponder marketing actually generates traffic, okay? The poor man's method will become too overwhelming as your follow-up sequence grows. So you need to actually have a tracking tool that's dedicated to tracking. You want to test, tweak, and change one thing at a time. So this is the 3 ways you want to get dialed in on, okay? Number 1, start with your open rates. Okay, look at your email sequence, and most autoresponders have the ability for you to look at the open rate of each email in a sequence. Look at your averages, see what your average open rates are, and then look for the low open rates. Find the emails that no one is opening, because if nobody's opening that email, then no one's seeing your message, so they're not having a chance to click on a link, which means you're not generating any money. So find the emails that nobody's opening first, and then start tweaking the headline, because the headline and the first sentence of the email are what dictate the open rate. So the first thing you want to do is find the emails that aren't getting opened and edit them so that they get opened, right? Then start looking at the clicks on each email. See what the click-through rate and how many clicks each emails are getting. Find your average based on your entire sequence, and your promotions specifically, and then look at the promotions that are getting drastically fewer clicks than the others. What that means is that if it's getting less clicks, that means that the copy of the email, the body copy of the email, isn't selling the click well enough. It's not getting people excited enough or interested enough to want to click. So in that case, start editing the copy of that email to get the clicks up. Okay, then look at your unsubscribes. Is there a particular email that's getting more unsubscribes than others? If so, what is it about that email do you think compared to your other ones that's generating more unsubscribes? If you can't figure it out, just get rid of the email completely, unless the same email that's generating the most unsubscribes is also generating you a lot of money in sales. If that's the case, then you just leave it. You deal with the unsubscribes because you want to keep making the sales. But if it's also not performing on the sales side and it's generating unsubscribes at a higher rate than your other emails, then get rid of it. However, with the unsubscribes, understand that every time you send an email, whether it's the best free content or you are giving someone $1 million or whatever, you're going to get unsubscribes. So don't worry about them. But if you see an abnormally high rate of unsubscribes on a particular email, you want to pay attention to that, especially if it's an autoresponder, because then you can get rid of it, modify it, and then start saving some of those people so that they'll continue on in your sequence. Simply doing these 3 things will drastically increase the profitability of your autoresponder campaign. And it's very simple to do because you can graphically see all of this data inside of your autoresponder, and you can just start looking for the low points. Once you go beyond that, then you can start trying to improve the copy or the sales, or hey, this promotion's doing better than this promotion. But once you have these basic 3 things dialed in, then start trying to swap promotions around to see which ones are going to perform the best at different locations. Doing that, your autoresponder marketing will rapidly become one of the favorite marketing tools in your arsenal, because it's going to be making you money while you sleep, doing nothing, set up, and it's just running. Can't tell you how excited we are with our autoresponder marketing, because every day we see more money than we had the day before, regardless of any ads or traffic or any other efforts that we're doing for marketing. And you're going to find the same results as well.